Hi everyone, my name's Helen, I'm a yoga teacher. I've had a request from one of the guys in my classes to do a video based on a pose called Chaturanga Dandasana. It's also known as push-up position. It's a very common pose in any yoga class. Now in some classes, especially Ashtanga, this pose can be repeated up to 50 times. And if you've not quite got the alignment correctly and the posture correctly, what we can end up doing is actually doing problems to our shoulders in the long run. So it's really important to get the alignment and the strength of this pose correct. So what I'm going to do is get on the floor and show you, but before I do that I'm just going to briefly talk about the shoulders. And before I do that I'm going to talk about the hips. So we've got the ball and socket joint in the hips. So you've got the femur bone attaching to the ilium, which is the pelvis, and it's a ball and socket joint, and it's a deep ball and socket joint, and the muscles and tendons that surround it are very big, they're very wide, they're very strong. So this really gives us good stability in the hips. And rightly so, because this is the foundation, if you think about it, for the spine and all of our vital organs. And it's also keeping us stood up all day, every day. They're very, very strong. In contrast to this, we've got the shoulders. Now it's a similar ball and socket joints in the shoulder, but it's a lot shallower. And the muscles and tendons around them are a little bit thinner, they're a bit strappier, not quite as strong. Now this affords us much more movement in the arms, but it also means that we can actually do damage to our shoulders a lot easier than, say, the hip joints. So with this pose, it's very important that we mind the shoulders, we're very mindful of what's going on, so we can keep your practice safe and strong. So there's three things we're going to look at with this pose. One, we're going to look at the alignment between the shoulder and the elbow. We're then going to look at the alignment between the elbow and the wrist. And we're going to talk briefly also about the abdominal muscles and how important they are with this pose. So we're going to start in everyone's favourite plank pose. Nice straight line, really pushing into those hands, tummy muscles working. Now what tends to happen in a chaturanga is we lose the alignment between the shoulders and the elbows. So we lower down and the shoulders come forward and down, and we dump in the shoulders, elbows are higher than those shoulders, and we've lost the whole pose. So I really want you to think about the alignment, keeping those shoulders and elbows in a line. If you wish to use a mirror to do this, to check that you're in alignment, you can. So as you come down, really make sure that those shoulders and elbows are in a nice line. Okay? The next thing as well is to try your best to make sure that the wrists are underneath those elbows as you come down. Alright, so it really gives us more stability, really works all the muscles that need working. So again, starting in plank, we're going to come forward on the toes and lower down. So roughly those elbows are above the wrists. Alright, that can sometimes depend on how long your arms are. I struggle with doing that because I have rather long gangly arms. So as long as you're coming forward on those toes and working towards getting those elbows above those wrists, that's absolutely fine. Now the last bit is people tend to neglect the abdominals. So really, really fiercely work those abdominals as you lower down into this pose. And I want you to think about tilting the pelvis back. So if you tilt the pelvis back, it really activates those lower abdominals, just brings the tailbone in. So we're not sticking our bottoms out, we're gently drawing it in. So all of those three things together, the alignment of the shoulders and the elbows, the alignment between the elbows and the wrists, and really working those tummy muscles as you exhale and lower into a nice, strong plank position and lifting up. All right. So there you have it. If you're not quite ready for Chaturanga Dandasana push-up position yet, what you can try is Ashtanga Namaskar 8-point pose. So again, in your nice plank, we're going to look to drop the knees, get the navel back to the spine, and drop the chest and the chin towards the floor. Elbows are in a nice pose. Really works the tricep muscles and the tummy muscles as well, really helping you gain that strength to move towards Chaturanga Dandasana. Thank you very much. Namaste.